Our fair Nuggets. Yeah, they had been on a 6-game win streak. Blew a 17-point lead on a Saturday afternoon game, which are always weird. Like, I'd never go into those games with any expectations.
Really, against the Kings, you were like, oh, they're probably not going to win this game.
No, I was like, I get to care less than I normally do. So instead of giving 100% of my emotions, it was like 82%. But yeah, a weird game that they blew a lead and lost. And then one of the marquee matchups this early in the season, the Los Angeles Lakers came to town last night. The Nuggets got to debut their Black City Edition jerseys. And
I must say, so I watched it at the Blake Street Tavern, which was not very hopping. We actually tried to go to the Cherry Cricket, but their DirecTV satellite was broken from the storm, and so they couldn't show the game. So then we went to Blake Street Tavern. And I think that I was worried at the beginning that they weren't going to show up on TV, but they show up so much better on TV than the White Skylines do. Like, I think the White Skylines look better in person from the little we've seen. But on the floor, when you're zoomed out on TV, I think the blacks look better. The numbers are clear, and you can still get the colors on the rainbow jerseys. But you also watched it on TV,
yeah,
right?
which marks the first time I've gotten to watch the Nuggets legally. And
if you're not paying attention, it's not because Altitude and Comcast have come to a reconciliation.
No, not at all. But shout out to DirecTV. They seem to have a lot of business at bars. So I was driving around listening on the radio, very anxious at the start of the game, trying to figure out what to do with my life for the next 2.5 hours. And out of the corner of my eye, I see a TV screen, and I'm like, that looks like a Jamal Murray in Black City Edition jersey. So whipped in, ran in, and boom, there are Denver Nuggets.
Moving on to the
TV,
Denver Broncos.
So marks the first time I got to see it this season.
Sad news mainly just for
a
Quinn.
shout out to
Brandon Allen
Nate,
is no longer the
optometrist,
starting
who
quarterback
sat
of the
down next
Denver
to me,
Broncos.
who
I
was going
believe
to stay
a month
for one
ago,
quarter and ended
Quinn
up
was ready
staying
to
the whole game
proclaim
because
Brandon Allen the
Nate
starter
and,
for life
Michael
for the Broncos,
Scottish
and now
Liverpool
that
fan.
era seems to be over
We are
forever.
the
So
three people
I'll
in
let
the
you
bar that
reflect
gave
on that
an
before we
iota of
move
a shit
on.
what was happening on the
Yeah, we'll
screen,
meditate on it
and,
for a second.
Got to watch the whole thing play out in
the Razorback way
frustrating,
of life.
unclimactic glory as
Live
the
fast,
Nuggets ended up dropping
Brandon
that
Allen,
game
thank
to the
you for
Lakers
your
105
2 games of
to
service.
96.
And the Nuggets
yet,
did get it to 97-96.
Dude's going to still be on
They
the
were right
roster,
there.
So,
And then
you know,
completely
any
fell
given
apart. But
Sunday.
that was kind of the whole game.
Yeah,
It was the New York Giants.
They got
thought
off
they'd
to an
moved on
early lead. I
forever,
think they were up
and,
5-0.
Daniel Jones
And then
is
they
hurt,
had
and
one
Eli
other
Manning
lead
will
in
be
the game
starting, it looks like, the last
in
4
the fourth
games of their
quarter.
season.
Well,
So-
just in
and
time for them to be
otherwise,
eliminated from the playoffs.
they couldn't keep up with the
I think a
Lakers
great
for a number of
farewell
reasons.
tour for
And
one of the most
just to say
the
this, if you haven't been
low-key
following
goats
the
in
NBA that much,
Yeah.
the Lakers are the best
Eli
team in
Manning.
the West.
But
They
your
have the best record. The
proclamation,
Nuggets have the second best record. Well, now they have the third.
Yeah, Drew Lock
But going into
is
it, they
the
at
future
least
quarterback of the Denver
percentage-wise
Broncos.
had the second best record.
But it's been
Yeah,
weird
I mean, I
because
think-
the Lakers have played 3 more games
Yeah.
than the Nuggets. So,
Slower,
like,
yeah.
It's
it's a very
the hope, right?
disproportionate
And the hope has not
lead
been
that it
dashed
looks like
after
they
one
have
game,
just because they've played
which
more.
is
but
not what
also
we
have
could say
won
about
more
Paxton
games.
Lynch.
So,
I think
yeah, you said
so.
they
in his first
couldn't
game,
keep up for a
he
variety
threw
of
two
reasons.
great
What do you
touchdown
think is
passes
the number
where
one
he seemed to
thing
understand
they
that if
do
you
with
just
the
throw it
Nuggets?
up to Cortland Sutton,
Well,
Sutton
I mean,
will
you
catch
can probably
it.
hear
Yeah.
cricket in the
His
background.
second one was a
and I
really
think
good
she
throw.
agrees
The
with
first
me.
one was
Cricket's
a
the dog.
lucky, one-handed
that-
grab by
I think
Sutton.
one of
And
the
then
big problems
the
is
Broncos
the
just
size
decided they
matchups
weren't
that
going
the
to play
Nuggets have.
offense anymore.
Early in the game,
and
they
they
were
started
gonna
just
JaVale
run out the
McGee
clock with
with
a
Anthony Davis
17-point
and
lead.
LeBron.
And
the
it
Nuggets
almost
had no
backfired
answer
on
for
them,
any of
but
that.
luckily
They were getting
the
out-rebounded.
refs
They didn't
called
get
a penalty
a rebound,
on
I think,
a
in the whole
long
first quarter.
throw by Locke
either
when the
side of
game
the
was
ball.
tied in the fourth
And
quarter
that,
to seal
at
the
least
field
late
goal
in
for
the
his
first
first
quarter,
victory.
they didn't have
Yeah.
one.
Will Barton was guarding
when in
LeBron,
doubt,
which didn't work at all.
playing the
He's
Chargers,
just too small, and I
because,
think that one of the things the Nuggets will have
I
to think
don't
about
know how many
with this
Chargers fans
matchup
are out
is,
there, but God
do
bless
they
y'all, 'cause
make
it's
some
been
changes?
a
Do they
rough-
play Plumlee
I
and
think like
Jokic
the last
together
3
more?
seasons, they've
Do they
been way
decide
better
to
than
take
the record
Barton or
shows,
Harris
but it's
out
been,
early
like,
in the game and not
late
start them and
game
have Grant start
bullshit
just so they can
that's-
get some Well, size? last year I think they were
Is
like
Bol
one of the
gonna
top
have to
3
just
teams
come
in the
just for
West.
Lakers
They
games?
were worse
Well,
than
and
the- or in
notably,
the AFC. They were just
Torrey
worse than
Craig
Kansas City,
did not
and then it just fell
get
apart on
any
them.
minutes with.
From what I've heard,
last year I think he
the
played very
Los
valuable
Angeles
minutes
Chargers
guarding LeBron in
can't sell any
their
season
matchups.
tickets. They
This
look
did seem
bad.
like a
The
weird
Rams look
game
bad,
to be
and that
like,
new
we're
stadium's
going
supposed to
to run.
open.
Well,
Yeah.
both of them.
The first
It's,
substitution was Wancho.
It's about a nightmare
which I
scenario
actually thought was
for
a really
Stan
smart
Kroenke,
move by Malone
who
because they were having energy
it was
problems.
reported.
I think
And
last
he's
week
sort of
the,
their spark
the original
plug
cost
now.
of the stadium
But then he
was
kind of went all in and he was like, "We got Wancho.
That
Let's
has now
put
gone
Beasley
up
in
to
too."
$4.2 billion.
And Beasley, again,
It's
did
all
not
his
make
money.
any three-pointers.
Like, he's
he
the
just
guy.
He shot long,
So that's a lot of money.
Mhm.
And
That's a lot of
You're just
increase
wondering, is that
for
really
him.
Quite.
in a game where you're struggling to
and
guard
I've
everyone?
made it
Is
a
that a game where you're just like,
habit of
Torrey
not
Craig
feeling
doesn't play?
too bad for
Yeah.
Gilbert.
Well,
I'm not gonna break that.
one
streak
shout
now,
out to the
but
bench because
Lord
the
have
starters
mercy.
came out looking
Um,
sluggish, and they went out to
well,
a
I mean,
5-point
the
lead. and
Rams
I think they were
luckily
like two
have
back-to-back
the
turnovers.
Los Angeles fan base
with Jamal just trying
compared
to
to the
force it. He
Chargers.
settled down. I think there was
Compared,
only
yes.
two turnovers
They
he
have
had in the
not
game.
sold the amount of season tickets they need to.
But the
And so
bench
that's really
played
been
really well. Monte
the
Morris
problem.
is getting in his groove.
So I think
the
anyway,
Nuggets.
back to the
I think
Broncos.
yeah.
We don't need to go-
Besides
Well,
the size,
it's
'cause they
nice.
could just not
Some
stop the
Schadenfreude
Lakers in the paint at all. I think they were
shit
out
on the
rebounded
team
by
that's worse
20.
than us.
Well,
they're
was it they
already
just
now.
couldn't
At least
hit shots?
we haven't
either.
called them San
They're-
Diego
I
yet.
think
So
they
that was
were
a huge
under
thing.
20% from the three while
yeah,
jacking
so
up more than 25
I
shots.
was
And that's going to do you
impressed
against
enough with
most
Locke.
teams,
I really like
but
his
especially
passion.
a Lakers team that really
I
seemed
wonder
to
about
be able to
it's-
score
he
at
said
will
that he's
when
arrogant.
they
He said he's
had
an arrogant quarterback.
either Davis
Which,
or Howard
on the one hand,
or McGee.
this is
in
the
the
Denver
paint.
Broncos best known for John Elway.
And yeah, this
Very arrogant.
so I think there's like silver lining
And
in that
rightfully
if
so.
we can get a game,
But
which
we'd all take
I don't know if
Peyton
it's happened
Manning,
yet, where both the
who at
bench
least
and
played up his
the
humbleness
starters play
a little bit. At least with the media.
very
Yeah.
well.
And I do
that-
think that
I
is
mean,
something that is
if you
either
knock
going to
that
go great or it's going to go
up
Baker
to
Mayfield.
32%.
That's something that
The
concerns me.
Nuggets are close
I also
to
just
winning
don't
it.
know.
But they just could not get any
exactly-
momentum as soon as
I
they
mean,
would
we don't know
close
what we
the
have.
gap. There
We
would
played
be
one
a
really
like
good
vicious
quarter.
alley-oop,
Yeah.
or
Well, I
think
mean,
most
outside of
devastatingly, an absolutely insane putback
last
dunk by one
several
Alex.
seasons,
Your
we haven't had a
goofy Uncle
quarterback
Caruso,
who
that
was,
took
like,
a lot of
demonstrated
air out
belief
of
in
the
himself.
stadium at a
Really.
point.
There was that
when
great call that he
it
called an
looked like the
audible
Nuggets could get a
on
momentum
the
run
route
going.
that Sutton ran
But
on the
they
first
looked
touchdown.
sluggish
and he just
and
said you're going to go
really
out.
kind of unprepared for
Joe
the challenge.
Flacco,
And no one more
NFL
than Nikola
champion,
Jokic,
Super Bowl
who
MVP,
continues to just
Joe Flacco
underwhelm.
was afraid
It
to
was-
change the play
I
calls.
don't actually know how many
and
points
Drew
he
Lock
finished
was
with, willing to
but I
change
don't think
play
he broke
calls in his
10.
first game.
And to me, that's
I think he was
Well, I
9,
mean, that's what
8,
I like
and
a quarterback
5.
who
So that's 4 games in a row that
expresses
he's not
arrogance, whether
scored
they
above 10
deserve it or
points.
not. Because
He
you had
had
Flacco,
weird
who
turnovers
was aloof
where
for
he's just not.
the
It's like
first,
he's
what,
not
8
focused
games
on
or
making the
so.
passes, which is his thing.
And there's just
And it
there's
really
been
just
no
doesn't look like he's
character or
interested in
presence
running this offense in
behind
any
the
way.
center in the
Yeah.
last couple of seasons. So
I mean,
Go ahead,
there's
Drew Lock.
already
I
been
mean, the dude's
enough
got,
hot
like,
takes
big
on
game
Twitter and
experience
Reddit
playing
of
in the
now
SEC,
now is
which
time
you
to
can't
consider
say
trading
for
him.
a Trevor Simeon
which
from
it's
Northwestern.
not.
It's
or
not.
Matt
That's a
Lynch from
terrible.
Memphis.
There's never a time
or-
to consider trading him unless
Well,
the
Brandon,
team
you were
completely
also
falls
an SEC
apart and you have to start
quarterback.
over.
Yeah, or unless he decides
I'll miss
to
you.
like, hey, I want
But,
to be a star or
I don't know.
something, which
It's-
is complete antithetical to his
It looks like we're gonna have
personality.
Drew Lock for the rest of the season. So it'll be
I'm
a
not
great
concerned
test.
yet,
Like,
but I think a
is
lot
he
of people
worth building
are
on?
overstating
Do we
his
need
like,
another
lack of
quarterback
interest
in
in
the
playing.
draft?
He just wasn't hitting
Yeah,
shots.
the Broncos'
He was
only
4 of
goal
12
is to
from
figure
the
out if they need to
field
draft a quarterback.
and just
Yeah.
was never
winning
in a
doesn't matter.
rhythm.
I mean,
and
They're
He's-
4 and 8.
has a smart enough
They and the
basketball
Chargers
IQ
now have the same
to
record.
not waste
They're
possessions.
just blowing their draft position,
Was later in the game if
which
he's not
I
feeling
guess
it.
is all fine. It's just like the only
I
question
mean, Anthony
is,
Davis
do
is a
you
killer
need one of
when he
those
plays
quarterbacks?
against the Nuggets anyway.
Because the
and
quarterbacks,
Nikola Jokic,
there are going to
for
be
all
a ton
his
of
talents,
quarterbacks this year,
is
and I guess
not someone who can
they
match
could
up
be the
well
worst team in the
against
league next
an
year and maybe
uber-athletic
get a quarterback next year, but
6'11",
probably not.
I don't-
dude who can
I
spread
think
the floor like
I think
Davis.
the Broncos have consistently done this.
So
now.
we were outmatched
I don't think
there.
that
It just unfortunately we've seen outmatched
there's been any quarterback
everywhere
that
else,
has
too.
demonstrated
Jamal Murray
that
also
they
didn't bring
are,
much leadership to
like,
the
the
game. I
next
thought he
generational
took a lot of
guy.
really bad
We were
shots.
talking about
I think that
Justin Hebert
for a
from
lot of
Oregon at the
reasons, this
beginning of the
really
season,
turned
Trevor
into,
Lawrence.
including
Both of them have had
a lot of reasons, including
rocky
the way the
seasons, to say
refs
the
were
least.
calling the game.
So there's no
Late in the game,
I
the
don't
Nuggets
think
just started
besides
looking
Joe
for foul
Burrow, who's
shots.
definitely not gonna
That was a really bad strategy.
be
on the board when the Broncos
But I
draft.
do
And even then,
I
like
do think the Nuggets need to
LSU
need
was
to
a
change
super
their
talented
offense
team, great
because
defense.
the free-flowing
there's just
offense
no
that
guarantee
worked
that
so
any
well
quarterback you
at
draft
times
good
last
enough
year
to
and 2 years
definitely
ago
be number one. So then
just
you have a
doesn't
quarterback
exist
battle.
anymore.
For
Like when was the last
the
time where you
people
felt like
who
the offense was flowing
liked
and
Locke, or at least want to see what Locke has.
This is what
And then
Malone
the
has
people
always
who
wanted
are
to do
like,
with
no,
the
we
offense
need a
is
new guy.
control it
That's just going to be
from the
another
bench.
quarterback battle that didn't
And
serve
you
either
can't do
Paxton
that
Lynch
when
or Trevor
Jokic
Simeon
is
very
the guy
well.
you're running
So
the offense
at
through.
this point, I would say, I think it just
No. It doesn't
give
seem very inventive right now.
play to
like,
win to give Locke
the way
like,
real in-game
the
experience
Broncos
continue
offense
to
is
build
getting
the
criticized.
at least the play calling is like
play calling
uber conservative
for him, and
which is like
see where he goes. If he
kind of
sucks, he sucks.
oxymoronic in that
And the offense is
we'll
supposed to be
probably get a
free
second-round
flowing,
quarterback
but it
who
looks
is still gonna
slow
be
and
tough.
we still need offensive line.
like
I would love to see
hesitant
on top of
where and I think right now they're
like Laviska Chenault
slowest
coming
in the
out
league,
of
like their
CU
pace,
as a receiver. I'd love
fewest
us to just get
possessions per game,
marquee piece
Um,
like that to complement Sutton and Lindsey.
so I don't. It's tough. The
Yeah,
defense
that-
has
that
carried
really
us
is
to
the
a
dream.
13
Two
and
Bucks
5 season.
and Sutton.
So the Nuggets
And then,
aren't
yeah,
in any
that's
way.
that's what the hope is.
Sky is not.
I mean,
on
I know
fire. It's
It's
just
probably
a matter
unwise
of
to just be
you
like,
see this
all we
team,
want
you
is
see the product
Laviska,
and the
Chenault. We
potential,
don't really care.
and they're just
like,
not working
probably they have
towards
other
it, and
needs,
that's
but
in
that'd
large
be the
part
dream.
because your centerpiece player Jokic is not taking over the way that you kind of hoped he would. But the good team is good enough if everyone else is hitting their shots that we can have our superstar put up an incredible stat line of 9, 5, and 3 or whatever, and still win.
Well, and I think that's true, but I think that the problem is that we are judging the Nuggets at a higher standard, and we're judging the Nuggets at a standard of your competition is the top 6 teams in the West. Like that's who you need to focus on. And the Lakers being the top of those teams and a team that is going to be the hardest, I think, even than the Clippers to beat, because the Nuggets have a ton of guards. They can guard the people they need to at least, stop something on the Clippers. Like, I still think, that's an incredible combination, and Kawhi may be the best player in the league. But you have that. You have problems with all the other teams, but all the other teams are guards. They don't seem to have an answer for the Lakers defensively. And if the offense isn't going at the pace they were going, where they were averaging 110 points a game last year, when they were good, I don't know how they have a chance against the Lakers at all.
Yeah, that's like I wake up some nights just thinking like, oh, the Lakers used to suck. They sucked for so long, and that era is now over. I don't. I want to see growth from this team. Like, we're judging them based off the expectation that, save for few bad plays in one game and an overall shitty 3 quarters in Game 7, that the Nuggets were damn near a lock for the Western Conference Finals last year. So we're judging them based on the fact that they are a team that has to be seen as a contender at this point. And I think I had to remind myself of watching the game, like, it is the beginning of December. There's still so much time. You see growth in Jamal Murray. Still, I mean, dude's 22. He's still got a lot of time to become like elite IQ point guard. But his numbers are increasing. I cheer anytime he has more than 5 assists because that's like what you need from your point guard. Gary Harris, he had a great game in Sacramento, and I think 25 points, but almost all of them came in one half of the game. But the dude is still I would say at this point, all NBA guard, 2 guard, and defensively. And so I'm seeing that growth. That's there. We've yet to see much from Michael Porter Jr., but that's because everyone else is playing pretty well. But you then look at a team through the eyes of your superstar, and Jokic he'll get it, so I'm not worried yet. But yeah, we're judging it based off of, like, number 4 in MVP voting last year, dude.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think I'm with you. I think Jokic can get it. My concern is, why aren't the coaches putting him in a place to succeed?
Yeah.
And it, again, goes back to Malone's need to control the offense, which this is not a team. Like, you need to control the fact that Murray and Barton take bad shots. Barton has done great at it. Murray's kind of hit and miss. Other than that, they don't need plays. They don't need all of these things. They need, we're running routes, we're going to cut, we're going to move, we're going to let Jokic figure out what's going on the floor.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is the thing that has just gotten worse over time and not better. And it isn't just like this year. It's like, it was the best 2 years ago. We saw flashes of it last year. and we haven't seen it at all this year.
Do you think that's like teams are now scheming around it? From the eye test, I don't see that, but have they figured out a way to stop Jokic's facilitation?
Maybe. It just seems like they're running too many plays and not enough plays that Jokic is the. It just feels like it's too controlled. And I just think they're a team that can do well in chaos. And I would rather they try.
Yeah, I mean,
So.
the Lakers looked chaotic AF last night, and it worked great, and the Nuggets were kind of swimming the whole time.
Well, and when Golden State was good, they didn't run plays. It was a disaster, but it worked because there was too many good people in there.
Yeah.
And what was everyone mad about all the time? Too many turnovers. Like, that was Steve Kerr's big problem with Golden State the entire time they were good. Too many turnovers. And if you win, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can turn the ball over if you're able to put up more shots that go in. And right now, the Nuggets' pace really hampers that ability. So, boom, Nuggets go on a 4-game road trip starting Thursday in New York, which hopefully an East Coast road trip against the Knicks will really help build their confidence for them to come back, because they play the Lakers again in just a couple weeks in L.A., and then a Christmas home game in Denver for the first time since 2013. But it's interesting. We have to remind ourselves they're a 13-5 team, number 3 in the West right now, have quality wins against the 76ers, Rockets, Celtics, and yet there's so much left to be desired.
Yeah, and I think if you think about this the way that NFL teams think about it, you want to be playing your best football in December. Same way here. Like the Nuggets, if the Nuggets play their best basketball in March and April, they're in good shape.